Where did they get that photo this morning when Paul was showing the photos? Well, we've got more photos, Skip, that you may or may not remember us having, and also a lot of wishes from a lot of people. Some of the people are here, some of the people are not here, but over the years we have a lot of memories to share with you, and we put them in a book.
How many people will show Orlando?
We got all the group photos from every conference we've had.
Oh my goodness.
Pictures of food, because Skip's big into food. A whole page of bacon, boy.
That's the age of marriage. Oh, thank you very much. Scott, where's Scott? Thank you very much.
There you go. You're welcome to say something.
Do you want to say about the book being signed, Susan?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. We did leave a few empty pages in the back of the book, so those of you who were not alumni and didn't get a chance to send your wishes in before we created the book, you're more than welcome. If Skip doesn't mind bringing it back down tomorrow during the day, you're more than welcome to sign your name, leave your best wishes for retirement wishes.
I'll leave it with Pat to remember my grandkids are going to look at this.
Uh-oh. We should have remembered that portion before you put the photos in, I guess.
I don't know where to start. It's been a great run. I went to work for IBM right out of college in 1968. I went to work for the Rochester Development Lab unofficially in 1986 to announce the AS400. And I met some very interesting people along the way. Pat Zolman, I met Pat when I was doing other conferences back in, we just figured out the other day, 1998 or 1999. And the first time I really met Pat, Susan, my wife Susan and I flew into the Denver airport to meet Pat to drive up to, where do we drive to?
Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek to do a site visit for some hotels up there, but we were late. And Pat drove, did you get a rental car or are you driving your own car? But Pat had a rental car, but anyway, we were late. And so I sat in the front seat with Pat, Susan sat in the back, and Pat drove 200 miles an hour up that road into the mountains so we could be on time. It was quite a trip. I'll never forget that. It's my introduction to Pat. Patricia Zolman Andretti.
Yes, my daughter says that. I have a lead foot.
I met Amy and Terry when I started working on these conferences, and it was very interesting. We'd have conference calls, and there'd be strange sounds coming from over the speaker, and it generally Amy would say, "Well, that's Terry running the chainsaw or mowing the lawn," and then Amy would sometimes say, at the same time, yes. And then Amy sometimes would say, "Oh, just a minute, there's something wrong with my PC. I got to get out of the mode it's in." The cat just walked across the keyboard. Tuohy, yes, the cat's name is Tuohy. No relation to Paul.
And boy, does that cat drink.
The first time I ever met Paul was at another conference where with this young lady who was the registration coordinator for the conference, whose name was Sheila, who spoke with a British accent, said, "Oh, I'm so excited. Paul Tuohy's coming to the conference. You can't wait to meet him. He's so cute." And then I had the opportunity to meet John. He was working for the Toronto lab, and I was part of something called Lab Consultants, and our paths crossed many times. And I remember before, just when Susan and John started the date, John and I were standing outside, we're at Common, standing outside, we're at Common or Technical Conference, I didn't tell her, I don't remember which. We're standing outside the classroom where Susan was teaching, waiting for Susan to come out so we could go to lunch. And John later told me that he wanted to let me know that he was going to ask Susan out on a date. And John made the comment that I bet you a lot of people I bet a lot of the guys hit on Susan. And unbeknownst to John, Jack Rioni, an Italian friend of mine, and Skip Marcassani, another Italian, had taken Susan under our wing as our surrogate sister. And as typical Italians do, we decided we were going to protect her whether she needed it or not. And so my answer to John was, yes, they do. And if anybody ever hurts her, Jack and I will break their legs. And John decided, I'm not going to tell Skip this right now. Do you remember that?
But I've still got my legs intact.
And then Susan, dear friend, we've been working together for many, many years. I think she will probably say that we do not always agree. We manage to agree, but we do not always agree. And my first exposure to Susan was when I was given the task of recruiting SEs to work on a 3-week internship in Rochester, Minnesota, a year before the AS1 was announced, to basically help support the business partners and other people that were up there writing code for IBM. And they had to send, back then it wasn't called Vino, it was called props. They had to send a props note to me explaining why they were qualified to work in this internship. And I got this note from Susan, and to paraphrase the note from Susan, oh please, really, 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 I want to go to Rochester, please, 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 please let me go to Rochester, I don't want to go to Rochester in the worst way, please, 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 please let me go to Rochester. What? Called out the person I was working with and said, we got a live one. Susan went to Rochester, and everybody said, wow, can this lady work? And from there, she took off. And the one other story I will tell, which I probably should be telling this story, but the group that I was working with before I was working in area support for New York City, and the group that I was working with was known for playing practical jokes on each other. And one of the things we did was short sheet our beds when we were on trips. So Susan started working with us and made the comment, what's short sheeting a bed? Jack Rioni looked at each other and smiled and said, opportunity. Fast forward maybe a year and a half. We're at a tech conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and Jack and I bribe a bellman $20 to let us in Susan's room to short sheet her bed. We get into her room, there's 2 double beds there, so we short sheet both of them. Next morning, Susan comes down, doesn't say boo. Now I'm really upset. I spent $20 and got no reaction. So later that day, Susan and I are walking to do something, and I said, Susan, not thinking, I honest to God said this, Susan, where the hell did you sleep last night? She looked at me and said, none of your business. And then the light bulb went on. Oh my goodness. I said, well, Jack and I paid a bellman $20 to short sheet your bed last night, and you didn't say anything at breakfast. And Susan said, that's what was wrong with those beds. It was so freaking hot, she walked in the room and ripped the covers off of both beds and said, boy, maids really made these strangely. So that's the story.
And I'm sticking to it.
I got more Susan stories, but we don't have time.
Some of them are in the book.
Some of them are in the book. It's been a great run. You know, you're looking at 4 people up here that, to say it mildly, have type A personalities. And a lot of times there were 16 different opinions on one subject, counting Amy, maybe 20. It's been fun. 25 counting Amy. It's been fun working with you guys and seeing you guys from conference to conference has been outstanding. I'm not, as when I retired from IBM, I said I'm not going to say goodbye, I'm just going to say see you later. And the same goes here, I'm not saying goodbye, I'm just going to say see you later someplace. If you're ever in Vermont, holler. We got a guest room, we got sleeping lofts, we got a barn. Yeah, there's a cow in the sleeping loft, you can sleep with the cow. You're not sleeping with a dead horse, it's a stuffed cow. So, I thank you all very, very much. Thank you guys, really appreciate it.
no tongues. That would be useful.
Yeah, back to the proper business now, what we're all here for.